Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just create a new project right here. The name is going to be YouTube landing page. Alright, so I have this project. The name is YouTube landing page, and I'll create the HTML file and CSS. So looking at YouTube from incognito mode, because I don't want personalized feed or maybe personalized videos, I'll just visit YouTube from incognito mode so that we can see the home page. And from the home page, we already have this um, we already have these sections. So I think the sections on the YouTube homepage can be divided mainly into three sections. We have the header, and this place can be called the sidebar. So on the sidebar, you have this the home button and the icon. You also have the short videos. So the short videos icon, and also the link, the subscription, and all the rest.
Okay.
Alright, so we have the short videos. So we have the short videos, and we also have the history and all the rest. So um this section can be called main, or maybe the section where we have the videos. So let me open this website and sketch it so that we'll know actually what we are working on. Sketch online. Seems like my internet is slow tonight. Alright, so let's assume this YouTube homepage now. So on the homepage, we have this section, which is the header, which contains these links. The first one here is like the menu button or the menu bar. Then the second one is the YouTube logo. Then in the middle here we have the search button. But you see, when you click the search button, it changes. Like this icon would only appear when we are kind of focusing on the search bar, or maybe the search field, to impute whatever video or you want to impute, or maybe whatever description that you want to impute. Then we also have this search button here that you can click to execute the search. We have this search with your voice icon that you can click to record your voice, and here you have the menu. So what I'll do is that I'll sketch this website. I'll sketch the YouTube website on sketch.io. So this is a website that you can use to sketch. Maybe you can draw something, or you can sketch a website, or maybe the layout. So what I'll do here is, let's say this is YouTube. can't really draw. Then we have this section. Okay, so as you can see, when we scroll down, this section does not move with it. So this section is kind of fixed to the left hand side, and also this one is fixed at the top. So this section right here is kind of stagnant, so it doesn't move. This should be called the header. Ooh. All right, then we have this area. On this area we have the navigation links. This area can be called the sidebar. So I'll go back to my sketchpad. And this area is like the section for the videos. So I'll just call this main. So basically what we are going to be working on tonight is the header, because I want us to, just like I divided it into 3 sections, I want us to focus on one section at a time. So on the header we have the menu, we have the YouTube logo. They are all, by the left hand side. We also have the sign in button and this menu bar. These ones are at the right hand side, and you have the search bar in the center of the screen. So that means the header element, or maybe the header component right here, is going to be a flex box with justified content being space between, because these items are at the end of the screen, these ones here and this one. Then we have this search bar in the middle of the screen. Is there anybody that wants to join? Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll need to download these icons. So when I right click on this, I'll see whether it's an image, whether this is an image or an SVG. So when I right click on it, I'll go to my inspect tools. So from my inspect tools, as you can see, it is an SVG. So SVGs are like images. They are just similar to images, just that they have higher qualities, and when you zoom in, the qualities of the image does not reduce. It's something that is very constant. So you can zoom in, you can also use it on, yeah, like you can scale it on a very large screen size, and the quality of the image is not going to be affected in any way. So that's why most websites use SVGs instead of .pngs or JPG. So what I'll do is that I'll look for an extension that I can use to grab these SVGs right here, because there's a lot of SVGs. If I start downloading all of them, it's going to take much of our time. So I'll just go to Google and look for SVG Gobbler. There's this extension, Chrome extension, yeah, SVG Gobbler. So I'm going to download it. Oh, I think I have something like that right here, this one. So the name is, anyway, let me make use of this SVG Gobbler. So what this thing basically does is that when you add it to your Chrome, can grab all these extensions on the website, and you can also make use of it for your personal projects, instead of going to these third-party websites to download SVGs. So before getting started, it works, be sure to refresh on the page, blah blah blah. So I'm going to refresh and go here and look for it. Okay, that's it right here. So the way it works is that when you're on the YouTube page, you just have to refresh, then go to your SVG gobbler right here, and click it. Just click once, and need to search for all the SVGs on the website and give it to you. So we are going to be making use of all these SVGs right here, and I've already created my my HTML file. So I'll need to create the header element. The nav, and I think these ones are going to be different because what we have here are not just navigation links. We also have SVGs. We have the input field in the header. So I'm not going to use list items. I'm going to make use of divs. Okay, so on this section I'm going to add the SVG for this menu and also the SVG for the logo. So I'm going to go back to this page and grab the menu. So you can actually download the SVG, or you can copy the code, because SVG is just a code. Let me show you guys. So if I paste this right here, you'll see this is the SVG code. So you can download it and make use of it in your project, just like this. Maybe let's say you want to move these files, or you don't want to be doing this every time, so you want to have the file saved on your computer, so anytime you want to use it, you can just go to the folder and grab it. Or you can also just copy the code and use it in this project. So I'm just going to copy the code.
Harmony, please, is the meeting being recorded?
What?
Can we get a video of this class?
Yes.
Alright, wait, thanks.
So all the SVGs will be inside a container. I'll just create a container for them. I'll call it SVG container. So on this section we have these two SVGs, and on this section we have one. Okay, because for this to work, you see, when I click on this input field, or inside this search field, it changes the border. So the border changes from, maybe let's say, gray or dark to blue. Then also you have this search icon. All these things are appearing only when this input field is active. So they made use of JavaScript here to make this to actually work. So we are not working with JavaScript here. It's just going to look like this. Okay, then I can add JavaScript to make it extend and also add these icons, but since that's not what we are focusing on tonight, I'll just make it look like this. Then we have this icon right here, and also these ones. So on this section I'm going to add these two. So this is like the first section. So I'm just going to call this snap item. The second section here we have input field and the search icon. I don't know, the person that actually requested for this, I don't think she's in this class. Alright, so I'm going to grab this icon right here, the search icon, and I'll put it here. And I'm also going to put that input field inside the div. So name is going to be search, and placeholder is actually this text that is appearing inside here by default. So if you try to type, it disappears. So the placeholder is going to be search placeholder. It's going to be search. Then I think that's all we have in this section. Then the record search with your voice icon, which is this. I'm going to copy it, come here, paste, then okay, alright. So on this section we have 3 SVGs, but I'm working with this. So we have the settings and also the sign in SVG. This user, I don't think this appeared in the ones that I grabbed. No, it's not here because I'm not logged in from this page. So I need to wait, let me see whether that extension is going to appear here. So it's not appearing. What will happen is that I'm just going to make use of this one, the bell icon, and actually we have 3 SVGs in a row here. So I'm going to get all the SVGs. So we have the bell icon, the add video, and I think so there's no way we are going to grab this image. What will happen is that I can just look for another image right here and replace it. So that's it. Then we have the sidebar. Okay, but we are going to focus on the header tonight. Maybe if you have more time we can work on the sidebar. And I'm going to use let me find out the font family that they are using in YouTube. So font family is Roboto. So I'm going to get that font family from Google Fonts. I already have the 400, 500, and 700. I don't know which other one that I'll be needing, but I'm just going to grab this ones for now. Then add it in my CSS. Say default margin and padding. Then there are some colors that they used on the home page. We have this background color, so I'm going to use this extension right here. The name is eyedropper. So with this you can just create an eyedropper that you can use to pick the colors. You can also add the extension to your Chrome.
What did you call the extension? iDrop.
Yes, eyedropper. Yeah, there are so many of them, but this is the one that I use. Background color is well, I'm going to create root element as in root customized variable. So with the help of the customized variable, I'll be able to reuse some colors without, you know, needing to always type the color code. So this is going to be bg color. Bg color, oh shit, bg color will be the background color. And another thing that I'll need to do is grab this. I don't think this is actually white. This is not white. It is okay, it's white. Then another thing is this text here. So I don't know what I'll call it, but I'll just say text color gray. Oh, so I'm trying to join. Alright, so I also grab this color. This science is actually hard to grab some colors. I don't know why. Okay. For F. So I'm going to call this BG color for the search box. I don't know where else I'll be needing this, but okay, let me just save it here. And I think that's it. Then okay, we'll now go to this go to my HTML and add all these things to a container. I can just add the container to the nav. So the container is going to have a maximum width. Okay, let me open the page first and show you guys. Alright, so we have these SVGs on the page scattered everywhere on it, and they are stacked vertically. So what I'll do is I'm going to add this container around them. It's going to have a maximum width of, okay, 1200 pixel, and the width is going to be 90%. So what this means is that if the entire width of the screen is less than 1200 pixel, then the width of the items on the screen should be consuming 90% of the whole width on the screen. But if the screen size is more than, if the screen size is more than 1200, then all the items should be in the center, taking up just a width of 1200. So by default it's going to be aligned to the left, so I'm going to bring it to the center by using margin left auto and margin right auto. Still going to add a border to this, let me know. Alright, so it's just there. Then I think the maximum width that I used is kind of narrow, so I'll just try to increase this, maybe 1.4, and also increase this to 95%, because if you look at YouTube, the items on the screen are consuming almost 100%, if not 90%. So the thing is, I'm just going to increase this to like 95%. Okay, I think that's it. Alright, so another thing is that these SVGs are looking too big. So if this was maybe images, I would have just used IMG 100% to make the images to stick to the size of their containers. But these are not images, these are SVGs. So if you really want to do anything to them, I think the best thing you can do is, maybe if you want to reduce the size of the SVG, you can just reduce the size of the container, and the size of the container is SVG container. So let me try height of 100 pixel to see. Okay, so they are smaller now, but they are stacked vertically. So what I'll do is that I'll need to change, I guess most of us know this by now, so I need to change the nav container, which is also the nav, to a flex boss. This one should be at the top. Okay, then we have this first row here, second row, and no, first column, second column, and third column, just like we have here. But these other ones are still stacked. They are stacked vertically. Then what I will do is, the container that is containing the sections, like the one that is containing this menu and this YouTube logo, I'm going to change it to flexbox 2, which is the nav item. So it should come right below the nav. It's going to be flex. Alright, then I also have to change this to justify content. It's supposed to be space between. This is supposed to be here. Okay, then I also notice that these ones are still vertical, so I'm going to find out why it's like that. I did not wrap them inside this nav item. okay, right, but I forgot to name the class. Okay, so they are now stacked horizontally. So another thing that I need to do is I need to change the background color to this. This is not black. This is like almost black. Then background color here is going to be BGCLR. So now by default these SVGs are in black color. So I'll need to change it. I'll need to change the colors of these SVGs to white. SVG color white. I doubt if this is going to work. Oh, background color is not going to work still, so I did not add white color here. Best color white. So the background color is only changing the background color of the SVG, but it's not changing the actual text in the SVG or the actual icons in them. So I need to remove these. SVGs, they have a property called fill. So what that fill does is that it fills the content in the SVG, changes the color. So I can just come here and add fill. Let me use white. See, it has changed for this one. So what will happen here is that I'm not going to be doing this manually for all of them, because the best way you can do it is to go back to the HTML and start adding that fill to all of these SVGs, but that's a whole lot of work. So I'm still going to come here and use fill. I think this works for only SVGs. I've not tried it on another item. White. Okay, then another thing that I'll need to do is I need to further decrease the height of these SVGs until I get something that looks slightly similar. There's no way it's going to be 100%, so I'll decrease the height maybe to 15. Okay, alright, so 50. If you're just joining, you can mute yourself. Alright, so 50 pixel is giving us this, and it's not like what I have here, so I can just further decrease it to like 25. Is 25 too small? I think that's, yeah, I think that's pretty close. Alright, so another thing that I need to do is these ones, I don't know why it's like this, so I'm just going to add some gap to this, add gap to this, and also add gap to this. To add the gap, I'm going to go back to my HTML and look for the nav items. So the nav items are like, let me give it a border so that you guys will see what it looks like. So the nav items are like the containers that are containing the SVGs in every section. So if I do one border, one solid white, I have something that looks like this. So I'm going to add gap to each of the nav items. Maybe let's see 5 pixel of gap, which is still small because I have more gaps. They have more gaps here, so I might just do like 10 pixel. Let me try 20. But trust me, if you're working on a project like this, that's when you need like frameworks, because this homepage of YouTube was not created with just HTML and CSS. There's no way you are. It's possible, but it is going to take more time. But if you're using like React or any of the JavaScript frameworks to code it, to just be all about pasting components and replacing. All you have to do is just change few things and style it, and it won't even take you much time to replicate something like this. So I'm still going to go back here and check the gaps between the items in every section, and looking at it I can see that it's almost similar to what I have here. So this YouTube icon, the YouTube logo, has this ng, means YouTube Nigeria. So I'm going to add a span tag to it. I don't know, is it possible for someone to join without my permission? Because I'm not allowing some people, and they are still joining. So from here, I'm still going to add ng, and I'll change the color to white. Okay, then the SVG containers, I'm going to make them flex boxes. SVG container display is going to be flex. Well, I'm going to decrease this font size. There's this, instead of using span tag, there's this HTML element called small, so it's actually used for small text. And I'll go back here and change this to small. Okay, then I'm still going to the font color. I have this text gray. I don't know if it's this one, but I'm just going to use it. Okay, then the header, I have to add some margin top to the header. So it's going to come down a little bit, just like we have here. And 10 pixel, is that okay?
Hello, sorry.
Yeah,
Is it the small tag that made it fly, the engine fly up there, or what?
yeah, it's actually a very small text, so it's going to hang at the top.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so I'm still going to add some gap to this, maybe 2 pixel, so there will be some gaps between them, or 3. Okay, then another thing that I need to do is, when I hover over these things, you can see this circular this circular background color around them is on this one. It's not on the YouTube logo, and it's not on this one, but it's on this search with voice, and it's also on this one. So I have to also do that as well. So I already have like a div, or maybe a container div, that is containing all the SVGs. I don't know if I should use them. Okay, I'm just going to create a new class for them. So the name is going to be hover svg, the name of the class. And I'm not supposed to apply it to this logo right here. So for the search, no, so I'm only going to apply it to this one, svg. Alright, so when I create a border around that, let's see how it looks like. We have here, 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 and here. Okay, then I can just add small padding. Ooh. Padding inline, I'm going to use let's say 20, then padding right, I'm going to use 20 pixel to padding top 20 and padding bottom 22. It's actually shrinking the SVGs. So what I will do right here is I'm going to move this out of here and add border radius. So border radius is going to be like 50%. Then the issue now will not be grabbing this color, because the only way I can grab this is when I hover, and if I decrease my screen size, I won't be able to get those color. So what I'll do is I'm just going to iterate any of these colors to get something that is very close to that. I'm going to use this and darken it a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Oh, it's almost invisible, so I have to take it up a little bit. Okay, Then another thing that I need to do is I'm going to disable this line of code here and try the padding again. Oh, maybe let's try 10. And I'll increase this because the thing is not even showing at all. I'm not sure I'm even getting this. What's the name? This is supposed to be the background color. Take it down a little bit. Okay, but it's not like this one because this one is kind of darker, so I have to decrease it still. You can go with this. I think this is preferable. Okay, yeah. Then I can just reduce this padding around them. Oh, the padding is okay. Let me just try 7. I think 7 is okay. So they are not in alignment, so I'm going to go back to the nav and give them align items center, and also to the SVG containers. Okay, these ones are in alignment, and this one, the nav item, which I already have somewhere around here. So then another thing that I need to do is I need to make this show only when we hover over the items. So this is going to show when I hover. Okay, so now it is the position of the items are changing is because the padding, as we are not just changing the background color, we are also padding it. So all those properties that we are adding to it whenever we hover is making the position of the item to change. So what will happen is I'll move these ones, all these things, I'm going to move it up. Then we'll only get to change the background color when we hover over the items. The another thing that I need to do is change the cursor, because from here you can see the cursor is changing to pointer whenever we hover over the items. So the cursor, I have to change it to item. The cursor is going to be changed to pointer. Okay, all right, so we have something that looks like that. Something that looks like it's clickable. So I think we are done with these parts. I also have to yeah, we are almost done. The thing that I need to do is I need to work on this one. So on this section we have the search. Where's the search bar? So we have this nav item, which is already a flex box. So it's containing a div that is containing this and this. So this is the SVG, which is this icon right here, and this is a div that is containing the search input and the search icon, the search input file, and the search icon. So what I need to do from here is I need to make this a flexbox so that this one, this div that is containing the search icon and the search input field are going to be in the same line. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking. So let's say search. I'm just gonna name it search section, or I don't know which name am I going to use for this. So let's say search input container. So giving it display flex, and align items are going to be center. It's not in the same alignment, so I'm just going to draw a border over this nav just to see. Alright, so all the items are in alignment. So I now need to work on this. I have the search the search input field here, which is what I have here, and I also have the placeholder, which is what we've already applied, and also the search icon, which is around here. So just like I said, I'm not going to make it look like this because this works with JavaScript. So when I click elsewhere, it's going to return back to its default state. So this is what I'm going to work on. I'm just gonna make it look like this. Then from here, as you can see, we have this this container that is containing both of them, the search input field and the search button. So we have this big container with this big border radius. So I'm going to look for that container. If I give this is search input container, so if I give this a border, yeah, it's big but not as big as this one. So one thing I'll have to do is, let me give you a width 50%. Will you guys give me a few minutes? Okay, so um I had a call. So coming back here, we have this container. So I'm going to try and I'm going to give this a width of 50%. Let me see whether it's going to work. Okay, so it's not working. um that means I'll have to find out the width of the container that is containing this one. Okay, so going back here is actually the nav item. I have the nav item here, so I'm going to give it a border. Let me see how much this thing is containing. Okay, so I'm going to give this middle one right here, I'm going to give it another name. This is going to be search input, nav search input, something like that. Width for this is going to be, first of all, let me give you the class. I'm sure, let me give you the border. Ooh, why is it being applied to all of them? Okay, I need to delete it from here. Okay, then flex is going to be 1. So making this a flex of 1 is going to make it take over the whole width that is remaining. But what I'll do is width is going to be 50%. Oh wow. Okay, then another thing that I'll do is I'm going to make this a flex box. Let's come on. This is alright, so this is going to be flex box. So display is going to be flex, and justify items, justify content, I mean, it's going to be space between. Okay, so that is what I have here. I think this one is closer to this other ones right here, or it's not. So what I'll do is I'll remove I'm going to remove this border from here. Okay, then I'm going to put the border back here so that I can see the width of this. Solid white. solid white. Then this should take up this should take up the whole width. I'm just going to give it flex of 1. So I'm going to put a border radius around it like we have here. Width is going to be 80%, and justify content here is going to be center. I just want to see something. Alright, so I need to give this one, I need to give it a border radius. So this border radius has to be a very big one because the edges are really curved. So I might just give it like 50 pixel. Okay. Alright, so another thing that I need to do is justify content. Justify content is actually containing these two, this search input field and this. So justify content is going to be space between, let me just see. Okay, then overflow, because when you look here you can see this thing is overflowing, so you just have to change this. Overflow, you can do overflow hidden, but it's just very good to be specific so that if anything happens later on you will know that okay, this is because you applied it to the S axis. So the S axis is overflow S, overflow S. The Y axis, which is vertically, is overflow Y. Ooh, what happened? Can you guys still see my screen? Wait, all this while I've been talking to myself.
No, you just went off now and the screen went off.
Whoa. Ah. So, but you guys can see my screen now.
It hasn't come up yet.
Ah.
Maybe you need to stop sharing and share.
Alright. Hey, I'm really sorry. Alright, you guys can see now.
Yes.
Okay, so but you guys this is the last place that you guys saw, right? Was this the last place that you people saw before the video went off? Oh, alright, so I'm just going to add this overflow to the S axis. Overflow S hidden. Alright, so it's not hidden. Okay, then another thing that I need to do is I need to target this I need to target the input field. I need to target the input field and increase the height. Oh, I don't even need to increase the height, I just have to add I just have to increase the font size, and also the because the font size is actually small. Look at what we have here. So this is way bigger. I think not way bigger, but a little bigger than what I have here. And also need to change the background color. Okay, so and also let me type some words here to see the width of this. Okay, so it's taking up this much space inside the border, or inside this box. So I need to target it. I'm just going to give it the name. This is going to be search input field. Input field. All right, so input width is equals to 80%. Let me just use 80%. And the actual container that is containing it is going to be 80% too. It's going to be 80%. Then it's going to be 100% of the container. So you guys notice how I'm working with these percentages. It's actually going to help with making it to be very responsive. So another thing is the background color. The background color for this, I want to go back and check very well. From here we can see that this has a background color of something that looks like gray. Then it looks like this input field is on this background color. Like if you take off this input field, then the background of it is going to be this color. That means this box here, this one right here, the one with the border, I'm going to give it that background color. The background color is going to be background color is gonna be I think I have two background colors here. We have text, we have PG search. Yeah, this one. Okay, then another thing is another thing I need to do is I need to make the background color of this to be, because the background color of the input field is the same as the background color of the whole body, or the background color of the website. So okay, then it has these things are this thing is called border. So by default the input field comes with a border, so I'm going to give it border of none. I don't want any border. And if you click on it, you see to give it this blue outline. So what this thing is this thing is called the blue border around it. Whenever you click inside the input field, is called an outline. So the difference between the border and an outline is that the border appears by default, but the outline appears only when you focus on the input field. That means when you can type. I'm typing like this, but even though it's not visible, you can see. So if I click elsewhere, it will not be disabled. That means I'm focusing elsewhere, so the border is going to be removed. So I'm going to do outline 2. It's going to be none. I don't want outline. So even if I click inside, it's not going to show anything. Another thing is the text, because from here I think we have this is not white. I'm going to see whether I can grab this. Ooh, hard. Okay, it. So it's going to be test. This is going to be test gray. Do I have something like that? Test color gray. Ooh, test color gray. I'm going to try this. Let me see. Color is going to be test color gray. Let's see whether it's going to look similar to what I want. This is not what I want, so I want something that looks almost similar to white. I'm just gonna use white. Oh shit. So another thing that I need to do is, as you can see, this thing is hiding at inside the edges. Like I'll need to type for me to even see the cursor. So what I'll need to do is I need to add some padding to it. Padding. So padding inline. Padding inline is gonna be padding inline is going to be 20 pixel. So let's say 20. Yeah. Then another thing I need to do is black tiger. Wow. Alright, so the font size for this one. Ooh, where is it? Going to be
Are we using only audio? Have you used it?
who is it referring to? Alright, so from here, from the screen, I'm going to increase the font size. Font size is going to be, let's say, 1 rem. I'm going to try 1 rem. Let me see. Okay, let me zoom out. Even though it is not taking over the whole width or the whole height. Okay. Okay. Then I'm going to increase the height. Let's see, height is going to be 100%. Okay, then I'll also check the height of the container, because if the container is less than anything 100%, like anything that is less than 100% is not going to overshadow the container. So I'm going to check the container too. So that's if you're trying to apply a property, or maybe you're trying to apply the CSS style to an element and it is not responding, you have to find out what the property is, because sometimes they follow their parents. So if you say like 80%, that means it is 80% of the parent, and if the parent is just like 10 pixel, then 80% is obviously going to be anything 8 pixel or something. So your 80% might be the whole screen, but if the parent is like 10 pixel, then that element is going to take over or take up only 8 pixel of the parent element. So I'm going to check the parent element and find out what the height is. White. Okay, so well, let me just try and give it a height of 100% also. And this one right here, do I have any pattern around it? No. So what I'll do is going to check border radius, and inside this we have the search input field, which is what I have here. Then search input container, okay, which is what I have here. So I can just make this a flex box. It's already a flex box. Border 1 pixel solid white. So from here, this one is containing both of them, exactly what we have here, and there's also some padding between these. Alright, so justify content is going to be space between search input container. Is it the one that is containing both? Okay. I'm going to give these static values. I'm also going to give it a gap 20 pixel. Okay, then I'll remove this. Border is going to be 1 pixel solid white. Obviously the search input field is going to be overflowing, so I'm going to give it overflow in the S direction, hidden. Then I'm also going to remove the border. It's not taking over the 100% height of the parent element, so I have to go to my inspect tools, then I'll check. So from here we have this whole element is actually a flex container, yeah, so gap of 20 pixels between them. Okay, I have another plan. So if I remove this background color from here, I'm going to have something similar to this. It's just that this other part will need to have that background color. This one looks sleek. Another thing is the border color right here. So this one is almost faint. don't know if it's possible for me to grab this. Something like that. 30 30. So border color. So I'm going to apply it to this border. Border color, okay. Yeah. Then another thing is this text. I need something that is very faint, and also mm, it's supposed to be capital letter. Yeah, I've forgotten how to style this input field, the placeholder. I think it's placeholder, yeah. Okay, then color, let me check. Red. Okay, so I'm just going to use that color right there. This one, color search. So this colors, bg color search. Let me see. No, that's too faint. This color gray. Okay, I'm gonna just reduce the font weight to like 300. Let me see. Okay, so almost the same thing. So the only thing that is remaining is this the background color of the input field, the one that we have here. So what do you guys suggest? How are we going to do this? I want to hear from the house. We have some paddings around it too. So from the from this input field container, this one right here, I need to add some padding to it so that
That's all. Let's let's see the picture again.
from here, which of the
Let's
pictures?
see the picture again. Let's see the picture. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. That this picture.
Yeah.
You should, you should, why don't we use like buttons, network or beach?
Buttons, like what kind of buttons? Do you mean like bit as in HTML buttons? Because from here we have this div.
Huh?
Can you see my screen? I see my
From where?
screen. Oh, it seems like your network is
Yeah,
lagging.
yeah. I'm seeing
So,
your screen.
all
I'm
right.
seeing your screen.
So we have this container. This one right here. It's containing the search, um,
Uh,
the nav search input.
which one? This the
So the nav search input is,
this the video is hanging. I'm just hearing the audio.
yeah. Honestly, like I don't think it's something that we can rely on because the network is very, it's fucked up. So What I'll do here is I'll just try to just wait. mm, this is going to be 100, then height is going to be 100. And is there any padding around this flares center, align item center? So um border reduce 50 pixel, justify content space between width 80%. Okay, and if I give this 100 pixel, definitely it's going to overflow, so I don't want to do that. um Let me remove this align item center and see. Okay, so
Like
it's going to,
what are you trying to do now?
yeah, so what we're trying to do now is to make
I
the
say,
input
what are you
field.
trying to do now?
Are you hearing me? The input field, we need to make it take over the
To make
whole
what?
height in the um input field container. Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
so the
Increase
gap,
increase the width that increase the width, then make the overflow hidden now.
the width, the height.
I hear, yeah, like the width, increase it, then okay, the overflow is already hidden, sure.
Yeah, so I
I
have a
don't know.
plan. So the thing is that the justified content is actually space between. Okay, then the overflow s, which is in the s direction, is already hidden. So one thing I have to do is to give this maybe let's see if this is going to work. Definitely it's not. So I think there's an issue here. So the thing is that I applied two classes to this. Wait, let me change this back. So this search input container, which I have here, search input container.
That's so good.
Yeah, just don't worry, I'm going to fix it, just because I know.
Not even seeing anything, so
Oh,
yeah.
is it the only one that is having the issue?
Okay, it's not showing now.
Hello, Robert. You can see my screen, right? I need to be sure that everyone is not having the same issue.
I can see your screen.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
seeing your
okay.
screen, boys.
Yeah, it's lagging. All right, so see, guys, look at, if you go to the nav item, I have um class, which is actually this. Then this nav item has two classes, the first one and the second one. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to grab each and every one of them and give them a border. Okay, so that I'm going to troubleshoot them individually. So the first thing I'm going to do here is one pixel solid white. Okay, all right, so this is the whole item, or maybe the whole section in the center. So another thing that I can do is go back here and grab this one, so we can now troubleshoot these things individually. This is this, okay, and now this guy is taking over this whole width. This one is another one that we need to troubleshoot. I might just give it red, so I'm going to differentiate it from the other ones. So as you can see, if I give this a class name, maybe input tag, alright, please, if you have if you don't have anything to contribute, or if you don't have any question to ask, you can just mute your mic. Alright, so from here, if I give this a height of maybe 100 pixel, the input tag still give you a height of 100 pixel. Still the same thing, so I have to go to my inspect tools. Width is okay, this is height 100 pixel, you know what, when we remove this flex box, which is search input field, so search input field, I think I know where the fault is from. What am I going to do? Border is going to be just have to be sure, okay. Then I'm going to add another div around it. Okay, then um going down here, I can just change the background color to be anything. Another thing I can also do is to add padding in line, maybe 10, and no, we don't need this line. Then I think that's it. So we're supposed to work on this other section of the page, which is this side. I think this side, all you have to just grab the image, the um the SVGs, which we've already done. Then after that, you add the SVG, then you add the name of that button or name of the link, then you just stack it vertically. It's actually categorized, so you have all my subscriptions right here, and more YouTube music and other YouTube products. You also have these buttons to explore and all the rest. And this one is actually going to be assignment for you guys. We are going to work on this thing tomorrow, so if you finish this early tomorrow, we can also work on this part of the project and finish it. But this particular side now, you guys are it's just like an assignment, so you guys are going to work on this tomorrow. Okay, and as you can see, if I'm scrolling, this thing is not is just like the header is sticking to the top. It's not moving down, it's not going up. It's not like when you're scrolling, um the header is going to go up and you will not be able to see it on the screen. So I want it to stick at the top just like this. Okay, then after that, at least by 8 p.m. tomorrow, we are going to work. Okay, so this is the end of today's,
Okay.
yeah, this is the end of today's tutorial. If there's any question you have, you can also ask.
Yeah, the thing is that it was really hard following along while we were working because it's a bit fast. So that's why I kept asking for the recording and the code so that I can catch up
Was I
so
that
that we
fast?
can be able to follow the
Okay, the reason I was
assignment.
fast is
Yes,
because um I, I think most of you are familiar with these things, the flex box, the justify content, space between, border, almost all the properties here. Most of you guys must have been familiar with it, so that's why I was speeding up. But I think if there's any question you guys have, you can still ask. I'll answer. You can go back to any of them.
yeah. What would be helpful for me, Sha, is the recording and the code so that
All right, no
whenever
problem.
I feel I've stopped,
Yeah.
go back to it and check.
All right, no problem. Elijah, do you have any question? Mm,
No, not really.
okay, okay. So, Robert, any question?
No, this is kind of kind of hard one. I'll go over
Which of them is hard? Is
see
it the
if you
assignment or
have any question.
is it the assignment that is hard or the one that we did? Which one?
Yes, the assignment is yes,
This
the
assignment
assignment is
is
like
not
of
hard though.
how to play to play
All right, no
how we going to
problem.
place it by the side
All
like
right, so I'm going to give you guys a hint. I'm going to give you a
I
You,
hint.
you
think
know you know you did a lot
I
of
think the search
you know you did a lot of yes
yeah,
on that search plate. You did a lot
Yes.
of
So actually, most of the
placeholder.
times
effort
there.
went into the search bars and all the rest because this we've not really worked much on forms. Yeah, forms and form items. Just like the check box, they used to have radio button. They used to have check box. Check box is actually the one that you can use to check many options at the same time. Then the radio buttons, you can choose only one. Then another thing is the input field. We've not worked much with the input field, so maybe when we are done with this one, we'll work with as in forms and
so I
all
guess
the
for
form
this one
items.
now, for the one on the sidebar,
Okay.
yeah, it's just going to be like block, like inline block to list them like that so that
I
they
just
will
like
not
I just like the
write.
fact that you're trying to wrap your head around it. Just do anything that your mind tells you. Do anything that is on your mind. Tomorrow we'll just look at it and see. Okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right, guys. This will be the end of tonight's meeting. Tomorrow we'll continue
All right.
again.
Thank you. Good night.
All right.
Okay.
You guys are welcome.
All right.
Alright,
Thank
All
thanks
right.
a lot.
you. Don't forget the recording. Thank you.
No problem.
Mm.